Hey YouTube, Shoutmon here with a review of the Digimon Fusion Digi-Fusion Figures. This is a line of roughly 5-inch scale Digimon figures that are kind of buildable, kind of playable, and a nice healthy mix of the two. So as you can see, Shoutmon is all sort of dismantled in the package here. And it works off socket and ball joints. So pretty nice overall, and as you can see, the entire line is built like that. And if you collect them all, mix and match them, you can do things like make Shoutmon ×4, Metal Greymon, or create your own Digimon fusions. That's even cool as well. Plus, future expansions on the line will give us other versions of Shoutmon and other fusions seen in the show. So all in all, pretty cool. These are available for $8.99. I picked them up at my local Target, $8.99. This is the first set of 5, which gives us Shoutmon ×4 and Metal Greymon. So pretty cool. Let's get them open and take a look. Alright, so here's the Digi-Fusion guys out of package. Again, if you hear a weird dinging in the background, it's raining really hard here, so I do apologize for that. Can't control the weather, unfortunately. But anyway, again, these retail for $8.99 a piece, and they're actually really cool. I thought these were action features when we first seen them at the licensing expo. I think was the first time we seen the Digimon toys. But these are actually a line of buildable figures, like I said before, that feature ball and socket joints. So basically you pop off a piece and you pop it back in. I'm not sure the strength of these. It's all simply plastic. So I'm not sure how much or how quickly these are going to wear down. So keep that in mind. But I actually really like these. They suffer a little bit in terms of accuracy at some points, Darulumon being the hardest hit, I believe. But they're actually really cool. So we'll take a look at each of these one by one and then show the combinations that we can do. Now, included with each of these is a Digi-Card. Shoutmon comes with the Shoutmon Star Sword, card 3. Ballistamon comes with his card, card 13. Darulumon comes with his card, card 16. Greymon comes with card 29, and Mail Birdramon with card 37. Now, I would like to point out that we do have a lot of these cards already. But, as you can see here, there's different artwork for them. So, they're not the same card. No matter how slightly similar some of this art is, all the art is different. So, you do not get any repeat cards as of right now. So, let's go ahead and Fusion Loader it up. To save on time, I'm only going to do Shoutmon Star Sword, since we went over all the sounds for these in previous review. Yay. And proof that he can't Digi-Fuse. So here's Shoutmon, and Shoutmon's probably the winner of the group, just because he does have quite a bit of articulation going for him. He has the shoulder articulation down here at the hips and the feet. Actually, the feet are a peg. Those do not rotate. My apologies. The head up here is on a nice little ball joint, too. So you get quite a bit more realm of articulation with Shoutmon than you do on some of the other guys. And given the fact that he's the main character, having a larger scale Shoutmon figure for your desk is cool as well. Now, the interesting thing to note about Shoutmon is the only thing you need from Shoutmon to make Shoutmon ×4 is this. This is the only piece that you take from Shoutmon, besides obviously the Star Sword itself, which is unpainted. I would have liked to see this have some paint on it. That would have been nice, but Bandai America, what you gonna do? Not a whole lot. But, so it's interesting to note that you only need Shoutmon for this and the sword. Nothing else is used for Shoutmon ×4. So you're still left with a almost whole Shoutmon figure once you're done with the combination. Now, again, you could do weird things like pop off his head and replace it with Ballistamon's. I can pop Ballistamon's head off. So you can do things like that. That's always fun. I'm not sure why you would, but you can. Isn't he adorable? So speaking of Ballistamon, here he is. Again, looking really short and very squat. I know that's kind of how he's designed, but he's pretty big in the show, so obviously these aren't in scale whatsoever. That wasn't obvious. enough. But I really dig Ballistamon. Again, he's got quite a bit of articulation going for him. His little feetsies are articulated too. So again, really cool. They don't do much by themselves, besides make quasi-decent display pieces. But Ballistamon's kind of the base of the thing, so he's definitely a requirement if you want to get some Shoutmon times something going on. Darulumon is very fiddly. I do like the way his tail was done in all these separate little joints. So he's kind of like a scorpion, and you can have him like swing his tail around and drill. So that's kind of neat. His body is suffering from the obviously feet thing going on. In terms of design, I think it's moderately accurate, obviously, outside of the huge dip here. But still, it ends up looking kind of off-putting. His head more or less just looks like it's floating. So I'm not a huge fan of the way Darulumon was done. But considering how much of Darulumon's used in Shoutmon x4, I guess it was kind of a necessary thing in terms of the design. So as a standalone, he's kind of awful looking, but very much a requirement if you want to have some fun with this line. But here's Darulumon. Again, I really dig the tail. And moving on to Team Blue Flare, here is Greymon. Articulation down here at the foot, at the tail, at the shoulder, and a little bit on the head. It's on this ball joint that sits pretty deep in there, so you're going to have to kind of fiddle with it, but you can get quite the range of motion. His mouth does open. It also is on a ball joint in there. So I wouldn't open it too far because it looks really bad, but you can do that. Unfortunately, he can't dip his neck down any further than that, so make sure you kind of pose him like an actual T-Rex to make him look halfway right. But again, a pretty nice little representation of Greymon. I think I like the chibi figure more because it's adorable. But not a bad little figure for Greymon. And then, of course, Greymon combines with Mail Birdramon to form Metal Greymon, which we'll take a look at soon. You can see Metal Greymon's helmet up here. This ball joint sort of emulates the cannon that Mail Birdramon has. So I kind of like that they did the best they could by implementing that ball joint as a mock cannon. So that's always kind of cool. I think I got these legs on backwards, but I'll fix that later. So his little feet move here. They can swing up if you want to make them look more like a plane, maybe. You can do that. The wings are on little ball joints there, and this tail piece is on a ball joint. I really wish this was segmented, a joint here and a joint there, to get a little bit more movement, especially when this becomes Metal Greymon's arm. I really wish we had that, but not too bad. One of the weaker of the figures, I think, just because Mail Birdramon's kind of awful. Alright, so let's go ahead and start combining these. Like I said, for Shoutmon, you only need this, the V shape from Shoutmon's head. You need to pop that off and make him like a monk version of Shoutmon. And you need the Star Sword. Everything else is pretty much just plop back here and have fun. For Ballistamon, you're going to pop off these arms and pop off his head. Those are going to become pieces. This will be the front of Shoutmon x4, so swing those around. These, you just kind of swing around and pose them like that. Alternatively, you could just take them off, but I'm just going by the instructions as of right now. Bring in Darulumon. He's going to get heavily dismantled. Pop off the entire tail section. Keep this section, and you can plug that back in. Some of these ball joints are actually kind of difficult to work with. We'll plug it back in once we get that piece off. So basically, take Darulumon and dismantle him completely. It's a little bit gruesome, but that's how it works. There is Shoutmon's fusion head, so that will stay there. Darulumon's head is a piece. The legs are a piece. And there we go. So this is going to be basically the butt. That pops right into this socket right there. That will be a tail, and this piece will connect right here, just like so. You can go ahead and put in that. Ballistamon's head will go over here. On that shoulder, Darurumon's head will pop in right over here on that shoulder. So we're getting there. We're going to want to take these pieces with the spikes, take off Darurumon's paws, and those pieces do not get used for anything. So set them aside with Shoutmon. And these will plug in on this hip piece and swing around just like that. So it's coming along. Now the leg pieces get a little bit tricky because the instructions show them lining up like this, where these are on the same side, and that's actually wrong if you look at the packaging and just common knowledge of how things are supposed to fit. As you can see, they fit right into those grooves, and then there's a hole on this that will plug into that little peg right there, and that will lock right in place as a little bit of a stabilizer for that. So that's how these legs plug in. Don't follow the instructions, follow your intuition and the pictures on the box. So that one ended up plugging almost right in. There we go, just like that. And so that will plug in right there. And then this leg will plug in right there. And then finally, for the arms, pop Ballistamon's arms in like that. These will form longer arms with elbow joints right there. Gonna get him situated. The Star Sword will go there. And then finally that piece from Shoutmon will plug in right there to finish off his chest. And there we have Shoutmon ×4. Alternatively, you can drop the Star Sword and have Shoutmon ×3, but 4 is just better because he's got a sword. So there he is. And again, quite a bit of articulation. You have nice waist movement here. The ball joint right here is a tiny bit weak on mine, so you might want to try to thicken that joint up to try to stabilize them a little bit. But overall, not too bad. The only major hindrance of articulation is the legs. You do have a nice rotation right here, but in terms of anything that's slightly inward, thanks to the way the ball joints are designed with that plastic right there, they get stuck. So you can only bring the leg in about this much. But thankfully there is quite a bit of movement that way. Again, you're kind of hindered in terms of trying to go in a slightly diagonal way. But you do have quite a bit of movement just like this, which is actually quite impressive. So I really do dig that. And overall, I do like the way he looks. He's missing a lot of paint, particularly in the head. I wish the head was a little bit nicer painted, or at least nicer detailed. But overall, for what it's worth, it's not too bad. These 3 kits together, $8.99 a piece. So you're looking at about $30 for this, which isn't all too bad. I guess if you think about it, it's kind of pricey, but for what it's worth, I like it. You get 3 individual figures, an almost complete Shoutmon that can just kind of hang out, and a pretty nice building experience. And I'm a huge fan of these building kits. I love the Construct Bots for Transformers. I love the Zord Builder line in Power Rangers. I just like these kits that let you be a little bit imaginative, and we'll try to come up with something fun at the very end of this review. But overall, not too many complaints about Shoutmon ×4, and overall, I really like the final combination, and there's lots of pegs open for future combinations and stuff like that, so that's always a little bit hopeful that this line might actually pan out. Now here we have Greymon, and here's where things get not as fun. So Greymon's combination with Mail Birdramon isn't the best. Basically, just dismantle Mail Birdramon completely. You won't need any whole parts for him whatsoever. So there you go. There's your Mail Birdramon pile. In terms of Greymon, you have to pop off these legs, pop off the arms, pop off the head, and dismantle the head. Which arm is it? This arm. You will not need this arm, so this will go in the useless piece pile that we got going on. Poor Shoutmon. So take the legs of Mail Birdramon, and these are going to pop on and rotate around. I prefer to kind of leave them like this. I think it looks better, but the actual instructions have it going like this. Like that. Maybe I'll go on the other side. The instructions aren't that detailed. Maybe it's like that. Either way, it looks awful. Yeah, I'm just going to do it my way, because I like my way. Bring those in the front, because I think it looks better. But just to tell everyone, the instructions do have you pushing these off to the side. Kind of like that. I don't know, I just don't really like the way that looks. He's metal. He should have metal in visible fashion in front of him. So I'm going to do it like that. Plus it gives his toes some cool little armor bits if you tilt them like that. So I like the way that that looks a little bit better. Take Mail Birdramon's head. That's going to snap onto Greymon's tail. And just kind of swing that down as a bracer. The body is a tricky little thing. You're going to attach this just like that. Kind of raise him up a little bit. This piece is going to go like this. Greymon's head is going to attach to this piece to form a cannon, which will attach to this piece, just like so. The big claw thing will attach right here to form one hand. Meanwhile, his normal hand will be his other hand, so you can clearly see that's balanced. But regardless, wing will attach here, wing will attach here, and if we go retrieve Mail Birdramon's cannon piece from the other side of the room, connect that just like so. That'll plug in right there, and there you have MetalGreymon. Yeah. Honestly, this guy's just a mess. Looking at it straight away, you've got this thin narrowing part that goes toward the neck on Greymon, and then you have a thick body piece from Mail Birdramon. And profile-wise, it just looks absolutely awful. This shoulder is lower than that shoulder, so that looks pretty awful too. I don't know, it's just, you got this head hanging off the side, and since the eyes don't change, you just kind of have two heads hanging out on the back of MetalGreymon. So, I don't know, I just don't like it. When you compare it to the little chibi guy, who's actually really neat looking, it just doesn't particularly match all that well. I get what they're going for, but because of the way that toys are engineered, as you can see, these are supposed to go on his side. I just can't get it to work properly, so it doesn't end up working well. Just because of the way that these toys are kind of designed, it doesn't work. One thing that I've done to kind of fix it is it makes him lose the cannon. But if you pop this wing section off, pop off the arms, pop this section off completely. Pop that in, pop that in, and then pop this right here. It doesn't fit in the joint perfect, but if you can line it up decent. I had it in earlier, There you go. If you can line that up, it ends up looking a little bit better. You have the chest problem, but at least proportion-wise, it's a little bit better of a dinosaur. But yeah, so while Shoutmon x4 is actually a really great combination with 3 individually cool toys, while individually they're okay, their combined mode is pretty poop. So I can't really give my full recommendation to Mail Birdramon and Greymon. However, you can actually do some fun things with the combinations over here. I mean, granted, you can pop off an arm, and then Shoutmon, oop, that's a thing. Shoutmon x4, I'm just going to keep calling him Shoutmon because x4 is tedious, can get a claw arm, so you could do something like that. What else? We can attach things, places, because that's always fun. This is the parts that I like most about lines like these. You can attach that down here. Can we attach? Yes, we can. We can attach this down here. So now he's got like cool face thingies on his legs. So you can do that. You can pop. I don't know how horizontal I can get these, but if you pop these off, you can take the wings, which will probably look better going that way. You can get them pretty vertical. So you can pop them on like that. And now Shoutmon's got some pretty snazzy wings going on. Alternatively, you could pop off Dorulumon's tail. And you can give him Metal Greymon's tail. So now he's got even more Greymon in him. Just kind of scoot that aside. So now you got a pretty cool combination with Shoutmon and Metal Greymon. Metal Greymon? How long have I been saying Metal Greymon? A lot, probably. Metal Greymon. So that's pretty neat. I still don't like this arm, but it's better than the alternative. So pretty cool. I love this functionality itself. And when the line expands to cover things like, I'm not sure where Digimon Fusion actually is right now in the timeline of the show, so I don't really want to give spoilers. But once we get some other releases for main character Digimon that pop up later, it'll be really interesting to see the kind of things that you can come up with. Digimon Fusion's all about fusing and what-ifs and all of that fun stuff. So I think a buildable line like this was absolutely perfect for Digimon Fusion. And as long as the line can kind of handle itself and keep making decent toys, I'll definitely keep buying. Like I said, I love buildable toys, and I think lines that kind of stretch the imagination are really some of the best toy lines out there. So if you look past the lack of detail in a lot of places, and if you enjoy imaginative lines like these, then these are definitely right up your alley. If you are looking for something a little bit more detailed, show accurate, proportioned, better, there will be a line of action feature figures, which I thought these were before I actually picked them up off the shelves, coming out at some point. I forgot who's in it. I think Shoutmon x4, Shoutmon himself, Digimon, Ballistamon, Metal Greymon, I think those ones. So keep an eye out for those. I'm sure those are going to be a lot better proportion, a lot better detail than these will. But if action features aren't up your alley and you like a buildable line, this is definitely worth it. And for $9 a piece, can't really complain all too much. It's affordable, and the end result, if you pick up all 5, is actually really neat. I kind of like this combination a lot. I'll toy with it and see if I can come up with anything cooler, but for now, you might stay like this for a little bit. But pick these up at Target, $9. Definitely worth it if you're a fan of these buildable kit-like things. Thanks for watching, take care, and have a great one. Bye.